I was just surprised because I didn't hear from anybody else that they weren't showing up. So I was here, and it got to be 8 or 9 minutes past, and so I was just about to turn the Zoom off, thinking that nobody could come. So I'm glad you came in because I'm ready to go. But
Yeah, I will usually message you. I'm not coming, but it just got changed at the last minute.
no,
So
that's fine. That's fine. I totally understand, and everybody else has different things going on. It's perfectly fine. I'm just glad we connected and didn't miss each other.
yeah, I want to practice as what do you call it, whenever I can.
Yes, I
Thank you.
appreciate that. All right, well, good. Let's go ahead and get started. I hit the record button, so we'll get this one up on the channel too, so that we can do it later. And let me just start my music. Perfect. All right, so welcome to our Sunday morning mindful flow practice. Welcome to those practicing live, and also if you're watching this later on a repeat on the YouTube channel, we're always glad to have you there as well. And if you're catching this on the YouTube channel and you are interested in doing live practices, then you can reach out to me, and I'll leave some contact information in the channel description. So we do practice 4 times a week live here in my little home studio, and we'd love to have you join as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be beginning in a lying down position. So we're going to be opening the hips today a little bit. Maybe a little bit more than a little bit, maybe a good, nice hip release. It's been a few days since we've done one of those, and it's always nice to let ourselves relax and let that tension flow out of the lower back and hips. So we're going to go ahead and come into what's called a supine Baddha Konasana, which is a lying down, bound angle or butterfly pose. So we're going to come on our backs and bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees drop out to the side. And just start to feel your hips begin to open up. Now, if your hips are really tight and this is already feeling like, ooh, that's a lot going on in my hips, what you can do is take your blocks and just place them right underneath the outsides of your thighs. You could use pillows or some other form of support as well. But if all you have is 2 blocks for this practice, then you can just lay those blocks there, and it gives your legs a little bit of a landing place so that gravity isn't pulling them down quite so intensely at the beginning. So go ahead and start getting in that position. And then we'll begin to quiet the mind and the body and get into the theme of our practice today, which is letting go. I invite you to close your eyes and to bring your hands to your belly. Perhaps opening the fingers wide and connecting the thumbs and the index fingers, just the tip of the thumb and the index finger, right below the navel, so that your hands open up and create a wide diamond. And you bring your awareness to the space deep in your belly and fanning out that awareness to either and both, of your hips. Listen to your breath. Begin to let your body relax down and soften. And start to notice what's going on today. Remembering that each day we wake up with a different body, a different set of circumstances that are affecting the way we can relax, what sensations are appearing, maybe some pain or discomfort in some area of the body, or maybe just a feeling of tightness. So just notice what you woke up with today and what you might be carrying with you. The key is just to observe without judgment. Just become the observer. Feel your knees begin to drop down. Feel a gentle touch between the soles of your feet. And begin to breathe into your hips and lower pelvis. What I mean by that is actually directing your breath to your pelvis. Imagining, perhaps even invoking a color associated with breath. Maybe it's blue, green, white. And imagining that breath acting as a softening agent to any areas that hold tightness for you today. Today we're going to be working on letting go of tension, worry, or concern. So if there's one thing that you can bring to mind, one aspect, one negative worry, concern that you just like to let go of. Without delving too deeply into what it is or why you have that, just say to yourself, today I let it go. For today, I let it go. With my breath, I let it go. So we're going to stay here a few more breaths. And I invite you to use that mantra in a positive affirmation. Your body relaxes and releases, and we allow whatever it is to let go. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And last one. Draw this next breath in all the way down to that space between your hands. Exhale and let go, let go, let go. You can remove your hands from your belly. Start to lift your knees up toward the center. Push those blocks away. Maybe press them forward just a few inches. Just continue to remain on your back. We're going to heel toe the feet out to the outer edges of the mat and let your thighs drop inward toward each other. Taking a tiny little pelvic tilt as you curl your tailbone upward and squeeze your thighs together. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. slide your left leg down the mat and hug your right knee into your chest. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Bring your right arm out to the side in a T off the shoulder. And guide your right knee over the body to the left. Letting it release down and feeling that sweet, delicious stretch all the way into the right side of your hip. And curling around to bring awareness to your lower back. 3 full breaths here. Your right shoulder stays down. Your gaze is upward or your eyes are closed. Breathing in and out. Ooh, feel that nice stretch in the hip. 1 more breath. Roll back to center. Release your right foot down and extend the right leg. Hug your left knee into the chest. Draw it tightly in. And then take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Draw that knee across the body. Left arm comes out into a T and just feel that stretch again as you just roll slightly onto the right hip. 3 deep breaths here. Bring to mind the goal of letting go of at least one piece of negativity that does not serve your highest good today. Beautiful. 1 more deep breath. And as you exhale, roll back to the center. Both feet down on the mat. Go ahead and lift your head up. Help yourself all the way up. And bring yourself to a hands and knees position. All 4s on the mat. All right. Coming to a nice sturdy tabletop position. Make sure that you feel equally supported through both palms and the weight falling from your hips down to the knees. Inhale, let's take a couple of cat-cows, just dropping the belly down and lifting the heart, pulling it forward. And then exhale, take it into a cat stretch, rolling the back upward, letting the head drop down. Inhale, wave up into your cow. Exhale, drop it down into cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. On your next inhale, bring it to tabletop position once again. We're going to take the right leg out to the side. So take your right leg directly off of the hip and keep your hands directly underneath your shoulders. So we're just stretching that right leg out. You're going to feel a little stretch in the inner groin. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, we're going to bend the elbows down, dropping down to the forearms, and then take your right hand and slide it back, reaching toward the back of the mat, and just dropping that right shoulder down. The forehead might come all the way to the mat. So stay here for a couple of breaths. Just feeling your right fingers pulling backwards. The back of the hand is on the mat. Another deep breath. Inhale and slide the right hand back up. Bring the right hip back up underneath. We're going to create some circles now with that right hip. So that same leg, circling the hip around. Circle it nice and wide. See how much range of motion you can get by going slowly. And as you go slowly, you can really identify any areas that are a little rough, maybe feeling some tension. And let's take it one more time around, and this time we're going to cross that knee over the left knee so that my feet are now pointing in the opposite direction. We're going to go ahead and sit all the way back in between the feet. Now, if that creates any challenge or difficulty to sit all the way back between the feet and let your hips come down to the mat, grab yourself a block or even two and bring that block underneath your seat so that your hips are elevated above the knees. This will very often allow you the space to sit comfortably with Gomukasana legs. So in this position, my left knee is now tracking over my right. We're going to lift up nice and tall through the back. Open your arms up, reach them overhead. Deep breath in, and then we're going to take the right hand and reach it back toward the left shoulder. So just reaching your right fingers to your left shoulder. And then take your left hand to the right elbow. So you're going to feel a real nice tricep stretch here, lifting up nice and tall. And now I want you to just hold the upper body in place and relax down into your hips. So bring your awareness back down to the hip area. Just try to relax the shoulders. You're getting a gentle stretch without straining too much, and I want you to just let your weight sink down into your hips. 2 more full breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling, let it go. Very nice. Release your hands, bring them back down by your sides. Go ahead and walk them forward again. You can just go ahead and leave that block there because we're going to do the other side. If you needed it on the one side, then you'll probably need it on the other. And come back to tabletop position. We're going to stretch the left leg out in a 90-degree position to your body. So left hip and leg come straight off of the hip and plant that left foot down. Left leg is straight. From here, with shoulders and wrists stacked, we're going to go ahead and bend your elbows and let your forearms come down to the mat. Dropping your head down all the way, and then taking your left hand and sliding it underneath, reaching those left fingers back toward the back of the mat. If you want to bring your forehead all the way down on the mat, you may. You're going to feel a stretch here in the left shoulder and possibly your neck, inner groin, down the inside of the thigh. Take one more breath. Inhale and slide your left hand back up. Bring that left knee back underneath the hip. And then begin with the hip circles, rotating around. Challenge yourself to go as slow as you can. I love slow movements because that is what truly makes you mindful and keeps you present. Moving slowly, creating awareness, the sensations that you're feeling, and where you need to create some space. All right, so bring that one more time around. Cross that left knee behind the right. We're going to sit back in Gomukasana once again. If you had your block in place, you may already know you need to bring that underneath your seat. Even 2 blocks is fine. Or if you'd like to try to sit down in between the feet, then you'll plant those hips right down on the mat. So make sure that you feel settled and okay with the lower body, and then we'll lift the arms overhead. This time we'll take the left fingers and we're going to reach back and just tap the top of the right shoulder. Take the right fingers and take hold of your left elbow. 3 breaths here as your upper body takes its position. Let each exhale way down into your lower body and bring awareness to the opening in the hips. Beautiful. One more deep breath. Exhale and let go. Release your arm position. Begin to bring your arms forward. Gently walk them back up the mat. Uncross the legs and come back to tabletop position. And let's just press back to a little child's pose, letting everything reset in the center. Take a nice refreshing breath up and down the spine. Back up to hands and knees. We're going to take the right foot between our hands and lift the left knee up as we help ourselves into a low lunging position. Before we go any further, let's just maybe press back and forth a little bit. Just rock back and forth with that left ankle stretching and feeling the Achilles get a little openness here. So we haven't done much to stretch out the legs yet. And I just want to make sure you're feeling okay in the hip flexor. Very nice. All right, so what we're going to do from here is go ahead and step all the way forward with that left foot. You're going to momentarily be in a forward fold, but then we're just going to come all the way up. Bring those arms overhead. Take a full body stretch in Gomukasana. And then exhale, bring your hands down by your side. Got a little balance work here, so let's bring the weight into the right foot. If balance is a challenge for you, then just keep that left foot down on the ground, and as I guide you, you'll just turn the knee outward as we move. But if you're ready for the balance, or remember that you can tap a wall or a chair, bring that left leg up, flex the left foot, and bring your hands underneath the left thigh. Lifting up through your back. So remember, where we're in a balancing position on one leg, sometimes there's a tendency to just let all the weight kind of crush down into the standing hip. I want you to lift up through the crown of your head, and you'll feel your back get a beautiful stretch here as you do. From this position, take your left hand to the inside of your right, left hand to the inside of your left leg, and open the hip out to the left. So if you're looking, it's this position here. If I'm facing the other way, you don't have to move. I'm just showing you which way the knee is going. So it's coming out to the side. And then from this Gomukasana C, we're going to guide that left foot into the inner right thigh or below the knee and move into a tree pose. So that left foot can be above or below the knee. Opening the hip widely, lifting up through your back, and bring the hands and the foot down and take a forward fold. Very nice. Walk your feet backwards. Let's just take a little downward facing dog here as a nice transition. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your knees down and then bring your left leg forward. Almost had my left and my right mixed up. Left leg forward this time as we come into a lunge position. And as before, let's just stretch that right Achilles a little bit, shifting the weight forward and back. Remember that you can bring your hands to blocks. Anytime you feel that the upper body needs extra support, bring your hands to those blocks, and they can be on any level, whatever feels best for you. So from this lunging position, we're going to go ahead and step that right foot all the way forward, momentarily folding forward and then rising directly up. Again, Gomukasana, reach those fingers skyward and then bring them down by the side. Shifting weight into the left foot as we prepare for the balance. Rooting the left foot down. Lift the right knee, or you can keep the toe tapped down, but lift the right knee up. Hands come behind or underneath the right thigh and flex the right foot. Keep lifting up through the crown of the head. Remember, it's the feeling as if somebody's got a suction cup attached to your crown and lifting you up as high as you'll go. Take the right hand to the inside of the left knee and open that hip up widely now. Knee is still bent, foot is flexed. Find something that you can focus on that doesn't move. This helps to bring mindful awareness to your center. Feel your breath. And then guide that right foot either to the inner left thigh or down below the knee. Lift your arms up as we move into Gomukasana tree pose. Take a couple of extra breaths here. Inhaling. And let go, let go, let go. Hands can come down, tap the foot down, and we'll go ahead and fold forward. As before, let's walk those feet backwards, take a little downward facing dog as a nice transition. Inhale, bring the knees down, and let's press it back to child's pose and take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Child, come on back up and take it to downward facing dog, lifting your hips high, stretching your back. It feels good. You can pedal those feet a couple of times, get the hamstrings a little bit more open. Beautiful. And from this downward facing dog, we're going to bring the right foot all the way forward. Remember, you can drop down to your knees if you need to take a transition, and come back to a low runner's lunge. From low lunge, we're going to let that left knee come all the way down. Inhale, rise up, come to low crescent Anjaneyasana. Fingers are wide, chin is lifted, heart wants to reach forward toward the sky. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, bring those hands back down to the mat. Lift the left knee back up and then walk your hands around to the left side. Coming to a wide leg forward fold. Asrita Padottanasana. You can walk your hands so that they are in line with the arches of your feet. And then let your head drop down. But keep lifting up through those inner thighs and the lower core. Inhale, come up to fingertips and lengthen. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, come up to fingertips. Bring your heels in and point your toes outward and bend your knees slightly. Bring your hands to your waist. We're going to lift up into goddess pose. So in goddess pose, the thighs are externally rotated. Our tailbone is reaching down toward the mat. Back is nice and strong. And then we'll open up the arms so that the elbows and the shoulders are the same height. Take a breath here. See how strong your legs can firm up your foundation. Take a little side turn in goddess to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Take a little stretch over to the right. Inhale to center. Go ahead and straighten your legs. Open the arms wide. Pivot the left foot so that the toes point up to the front. Right toes point toward the front. And then dip into your right knee for warrior two. So in warrior two position, the hips are nicely open. Your right heel should be roughly in line with the arch of your left foot. This helps ensure that your hips are open to the side. Deep breath here. Beautiful warrior. From warrior position, we're going to straighten that right leg and move into Trikonasana triangle by reaching the right fingers forward and then bringing them down. Left hand rotates up. You can turn and look down at the mat or sideways or up at your left fingers wherever your neck is most happy. Nice deep breath here. Beautiful. Breathe into those hips. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. From warrior two position, we're going to swing that left arm around and simply take a big stretch or step to the top. Inhale up and exhale, forward fold. Walk your feet back to a downward facing dog, or you can jump back into that position if you so desire. Deep breath in, lift those hips as high as you can. Let your heart drop down. Find all the space you can in this downward dog. And then we're going to carry the left foot forward into a runner's lunge. So find yourself in lunge position. Nice long right leg behind you. Drop that right knee down. Inhale, rise up. Low crescent. Direct your heart forward. Maybe take a little back bend if that feels good for you today. And then exhale. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Right leg comes back up, and we're going to walk the hands around to the right this time for our wide forward fold. Remember, in wide forward fold, we begin with the feet parallel. So they're parallel to the ends of the mat. And see if you can walk your hands so that they're in line with your arches and drop the head down. Inhale, deep breath, lengthens the spine forward. Exhale, folds it down once again. Inhale, come back up to fingertips. Heels come in, toes are going to point out. Bend your knees once again and gather your strength into the lower core as you bring hands to your waist and rise up back into our second round in Goddess. Before you worry about the arm position, remember to really sink into your legs, rotate your hips, and then carry your arms out. Breathe here, sit down into your Goddess squat. And this time, instead of taking a little side stretch, we're going to twist. So we're just going to twist the body to the right. And then inhale, arms back to the middle. And then take it to the left. And bring it back to the middle. You're good. Go ahead and straighten your legs. Bring your arms wide in 5-point star. And then turn your right toes so that they face toward the upper right corner of your mat. You're going to come into warrior two. So left knee is bent. Firm your foundation. One more breath. From warrior two, we're going to transition into triangle by straightening the left leg, reaching those left fingers way out in front of the left foot, and then bringing the arm down to support on either a block, your ankle, or the mat. My hands don't quite reach the mat. If you have extra long arms, maybe yours do. Deep breath. Breathe again into the hips and pelvis. That's our focus area for today. From triangle, lift back up. Bend that left knee back into warrior two. And then swing the right arm around. Take a giant step forward. Inhale, upward facing hands. Exhale, forward fold. From our forward fold position, we're going to move into a Malasana squat. So I'd like you to bring your toes and heels out wider than hip distance. And then go ahead and point those toes out again. With your hands on the blocks or on the mat, help yourself to sit all the way down. Again, as before, blocks can be your friend if you need or want to have a support underneath the back so that the hips don't fall quite so far down to the mat. Then you can play around with that. If they feel okay to come all the way down, then you're just going to let those hips descend. Come into your froggy squat. And if you can let go of the blocks or the mat, bring your hands to your heart. Press your palms together and press your elbows into the inner knees. Pressing those knees away. Lift up through the crown of the head. Now it's okay if your heels don't come all the way down to the mat. That's okay. For some of us, you need to keep those heels up. And I know that turns it into a little bit more of a balancing pose. If your heels aren't all able to come all the way down, that's where the blocks can help as well. So breathe into those hips. I want you to really sink into there. And let whatever tension's in the hips and lower back, let it go, let it go, let it go. Remember, don't be afraid of sensation. Sensations can be intense, but as long as they do not cross over into pain, you can calm your mind simply by the use of your breath. One more breath here. Very nice. And then start to bring your weight, tip it forward. Bring your hands down on the floor. Start to lift up your hips, coming into a forward fold. Bring your feet back into straight ahead position. They can be hip distance or maybe a little bit wider than hip distance. Coming into a forward fold position, we're going to take the left hand to the outside of the right ankle. Bend your left knee. Bring the right arm out into a T, and we're going to lift up into a forward folding twist. Now feel the lower back, feel piriformis, the IT band, all of this area on the right side of your hip. Get a beautiful stretch. Inhaling. Exhale and let go. Bring your right hand down. Come back to forward fold. This time bend that right knee and take your right hand over to the left ankle. And start to move into the twist on the other side. Belly moves, and then your heart, and then your arm and shoulder. Breathe and let go. Beautiful. Unwind that left hand, bring it down to the mat. Let's flow up at least one more time here. Let's lift all the way up, stretch your body. Exhale, take a little crescent stretch over to the right. Just let your body stretch that left side. Inhale to center, exhale, arch it over to the left. Inhale to center, forward fold once again. From our forward fold, we're going to step back with the left foot. back into a low lunge. We're going to build our triangle once again, this time from a lunging position. So drop that left heel down, take your block, place your hand and palm that block on the outside of your right foot. Straighten the right knee. Now take a look down at your foot position. Is your right heel in line with the arch of your left foot? That's where you're aiming. So if that is accessible to you, then that is the ultimate alignment that we're looking for. Now before we reach up into triangle, I want you to take your left hand and bring it over here and feel your ribs, your right side of your ribs. And then you're just gonna bring your ribs over to the left. You're gonna help your body turn by guiding it with your hand, and then lift those left fingers up. This is a really wonderful way to take your triangle in steps and build the proper alignment. Beautiful, keep breathing. See if you can take a little bit of weight off that right hand by lifting up. One more breath. And then inhale, lift all the way up to standing. Right hand is going to come up to the ceiling as we take reverse triangle. Exhale, bring it right back down to the same place, to triangle position. And then left hand is going to come down to the other block. So place your left hand on another block. Move your right foot an inch or two over to the right. Plant that left heel down, and now take it to pyramid. And the way we do that is by shifting the hips. So you can see my hips were over here. I'm going to shift my hips so that now my right hip pushes back. My left hip is aiming forward. So pyramid is a forward facing posture. Triangle faces to the side. Nice stretch in the lower back. Exhale. And then let's take it down. Hands can come to the mat. Slide your right leg back to downward dog. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. Remember, if you want to take a resting pose, then you can drop into child's pose anytime. We're going to take the left foot forward, finish out that sequence on the other side. So starting off in runner's lunge, and then dropping the right heel down. Take your left hand to the top of the block, and then straighten the left leg. Create your alignment for triangle, heel to arch. And then take your right hand under your ribs. Pretend as if you're just pulling your ribs to the side to open up to the side body. And then allow your right arm to float up to the sky. Breathe here. Remember, don't dump too much into that left hand. See if you can create a little bit of lift. Lifting your torso and lightening the load on that left hand, maybe even coming up to fingertips. Beautiful. We're going to straighten, lift all the way up. Use some core support to lift up all the way to standing. Keep the legs in the same position, but stand up. Left arm's going to reach up for a reverse triangle, so those fingers are reaching up to the ceiling. And then we're just going to cartwheel it back down exactly where we were. Left hand comes back down to the block. Bring the right hand down this time. We're going to move into pyramid. So if you want to bring both hands to your blocks, widen your stance a little bit. That means bringing the left foot out to the left, right foot out to the right. Create a little train track instead of a tight wire. Left hip shifts back, right hip pulls forward. Nice deep breath. Lengthen your head forward. Very nice. We're going to take hands down. Go ahead and slide the left leg back. And this time, let's just drop those knees. Take it to child's pose. We deserve a little rest here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Come on back up to hands and knees. We're going to swing the legs around. We're going to sit back, coming all the way down to the forearms. So come back into like a half reclining position with the forearms down. We're going to cross the right thigh over the left. So you can imagine yourself at the beach, standing here looking at the waves in the ocean. Squeeze your thighs together. And from this position, go ahead and roll back to your back and come into shoelace pose by grabbing hold of each of your shins and gently guiding your feet toward your seat. So you're just sort of squeezing open your feet in opposite directions. This creates an internal rotation of the hips. So make sure that you don't feel any pain or discomfort, but it should feel like a really nice counter stretch to the deep hip opening that we just experienced. Breathe and soften. Let go, let go, let go. Whatever it is that didn't serve your highest good today. Maybe it's you've had some self-criticism lately, or there was an incident with another person that you carry a little resentment. Maybe it's just some unnecessary work. Let go of it. Give yourself a break today. Lighten your load. Let go of your legs. We're going to uncross and just roll back up for a moment, back up to the forearms again. This time let's cross the left thigh over the right. We're just going to bring the feet to the outside, so push them to the outside, roll back down, and then once again, just take a hold of the shins and gently pull your knees in toward your chest. Hang out here, squeezing out the last any tension or negative emotion. Feel so light and free after this practice. Beautiful. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Beautiful. Let go of your legs. Just go ahead and uncross them. Take one hand on the top of each knee. Open the knees out to the sides. Circle them around to the front, and then inhale them back to the heart. Open your knees out to the side. Circle to the front. Inhale back to heart. Exhale, knees out toward the front, and then inhale back to the start. Keep those wide circles going. Inhale back to heart. One more time around this way. Inhale to heart. And then exhale, push your knees forward. Open them out to the side. Inhale back to heart. Press forward, open wide, back to the heart. Keep that going 3 more times around. Last time. Back to heart. Very good. Tap the feet down. Go ahead and extend your legs down the mat. And just release those hips. Maybe take your hands, take the heel of your hands or the inside knuckles of your hands and give yourself a little massage right in the area where the hip and the pelvis connect. So the top of the thighs and your hip points. And just massage around. Give yourself a little bit of a soothing self-touch. Extra attention and awareness, and even out to the side. Little circles. Nice. Go ahead and bring your hands to the mat, release them down. You can drop into a sweet Shavasana. As we work, as much as we work into our physical asana, the real work of yoga is within. The real discipline is coming back to a mindful, present state of mind. We don't take any second for granted. We're not afraid to connect with our inner self. But we embrace that self. And we embrace the connection between mind and body and spirit. Let go of the to-dos and the activity. You can truly feel the calm and peace that is inside. hug your knees into your chest. Try rocking back and forth a few times, just feeling a little massage in the lower back. As you're ready, feel free to help yourself up. As we meet back in the center and close our practice with a grateful breath in. Exhaling, and in a final affirmation, I let go, I let go, I let go. The light in me is honored and grateful for the light within you. Thank you so much for joining me in practice. Om Shanti.